Hi, and welcome back to Mountain Aromatics. I wanted to go over, I'm trying to do some live shows, but where I go over pretty much one subject and they're a little bit shorter. So they'll obviously all have a title and you can kind of figure out what would be helpful for you. So what I wanted to go over today is a little basic, but maybe it's not too basic, but I think it would be very helpful. It is incredibly helpful for me, and that's some organization. So I wanted to start with one thing that I do, I'm sure you do, is you make some formulas and you put them away and let them do their thing and kind of meld together, let all the molecules come together, and that just gives you a more accurate representation rather than you creating a formula today and you smelling it. Yes, it's going to be pretty similar, but 2 months from now, it will be even better. Aging them really helps. I will also say, if you have a formula that's very, very citrusy, with a number of citruses, and it's just, I'll say some of the men's colognes, men's fragrances that are out right now and have been for the last 10, 15 years that are just really citrusy and very bright, and there's not much base notes in there are present. Those don't take near as long to mature. So easily after a couple of weeks, you're good to go. That's my opinion. And I base that off of when you have formulas that I tend to do a lot, which are really heavy, oud, tobacco, those types of aromas that are just heavier molecules. You can go on, and you know how sometimes on every single material page, it will tell you how heavy the molecule is. And the heavier the molecule, the longer it's going to take, or the longer you should give for it to come together and mature. So typically that means if it's a base material, it's going to take longer for it to mature. So doing that, let them mature, and then coming back and smelling your aromas and taking either a spray bottle, like a 2 ml sprayer, like a trial, or a small 2 ml vial, and make a 10% solution, 5% solution, figuring out, and oh my God, yes, that's awesome. That's a really good one. What I do with that is I will put a mark on the top of my cap, because that means I like it. And this one doesn't have a mark, and that doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it's okay. But this one with the mark, I really like. So I'm just trying to give you a way, I'm not done. I'm trying to give you a way of visually seeing, because if you use these trays, you usually look down on them that way, and it will give you a visual. So the other thing that I do is ones that I'm like, what? It's amazing. I love this one. This is crazy. This is one I want other people to smell. It's crazy amazing. I put a heart. Now you can see that there is a little line, like a mark like this on there as well. And that's because at first I'm like, oh my God, I like this. Well, I came back even later and made a spray bottle, whatever, a little sprayer of it. And I'm like, whoa, I absolutely love it. So some of my formulas have a heart, and that lets me know it is a crazy good one. The other thing I do that's a little similar is that I just put a pink mark. You can probably barely see it, but I just put like a happy face on it. Same thing, you can do a heart, whatever. So the other thing that I have done is put an X. It's nasty. It stinks. This is important. If you have one that is like, it is just pure sour. This is sour. What in the, and I had one that was just like that. I'm like, this is totally sour and not in a good way. It's like a wood sour, almost like how did vinegar get in this wood? Put an X on it. Why? Because I want you to see your X's. I want you to see the X, and I want you to go back, and I want you to look at your formula and figure out what is, if it is the sour smell, it could be something different. It could be pure powder. It just smells like so much powder and I don't get anything else. Okay, go back and look at that formula, and I want you to figure out, why is this formula sour? Is it one material? Or is it two materials that blended together that made this sour? So my point is I want you to learn from, it's actually not mistakes, because to me there's whatever. To me there is no like mistake, because you didn't know that putting those two things together was going to make it sour. But it is, so you want to figure out what is it, or what combination is making this formula that I don't like sour. That's going to help you going forward, because now you know, let's say it is the two materials, that I don't want to put these two together because that combo makes it sour. Just like you know, they're a combination of two things together that make it a formula powdery, and smelling each one individually, you do not smell powder. But you combine the two and you can get a powder, aroma from it, and it will create your formula with some powderiness behind it. But that's why I want you to put an X on it. Then what you can do is you can put all your X'd formulas together and keep them all, you can separate them out and put them together. The other thing that you can do, if you want, you should be using a number, and make sure every single one of your formulas have a number. You can put the number on top. And see, like, look, this is 913, and those of you who kind of keep up with me, you know that that's pretty recent for me, and there's an X on it. Absolutely. I make formulas that do not turn out, and I don't care. And in fact, I like it, because this is why I'm doing this video. You can learn from it. So I want you to learn from it. It's a great thing to do. But you can put all those X ones that did not turn out well all together. Then you can separate all the ones that have no mark on the top, which are just formulas, you know, they're okay, whatever. All of those can go in a tray. Then you can take ones that have just the one mark, like, I like this is good. And all of those can be in a tray together. And then the ones that have the heart on them, where you're like, this is amazing, I love it. All of those can go together in a tray. So that can be just one way where you get organized. I will tell you a couple of more things that I do. So this one has an A on the top because it's an accord. If it's an accord and I'm still trying it out and testing it, whatever, I put an A on the top so I know, because this is just not a fragrance, it's an accord. So that is helpful for me. So if you make accords, that can be helpful. And the other thing that I do, I thought I had it, is a tea. A tea is for a tincture. So there's a few small things, well, both sizes, where I have a tea on the top because they are tinctures. Because there's some that I'm trying out, and remember, some tinctures just do not work. They don't work. But some do. So that's just a way to hopefully help you be organized when you start making a lot of formulas, because some of them you're going to be like, oh, it's good. Some are like, this is crazy amazing. And you will just have a good visual on the top to be able to see, because that's actually how you're going to be looking at them. You're going to be looking at them down here like this, and it gives you just an easier way to do this. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, just one way of organizing. And I thank you so much for being here and being part of Mountain Aromatics. If you like this video, please subscribe. And if you like this, give me a thumbs up. And I will see you on the next Mountain Aromatics. Have a good day.